So this video is about building a foundation of what I believe and what I've learned to be is true discipline and true faith. And that word true is key, and you'll see that throughout this. So this is just writing from my journal. I'm just gonna read from it because I feel like I write better than I speak sometimes. The last years of my life have been pretty much all over the place, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially, pretty much in every way. I've been up, down, left, right, east, west, north, south, good, bad, you name it. To put into terms that anyone could understand, and the best word I would use to describe this is unstable. My ambitions, constant comparison to peers, and stubborn ways at times didn't help this at all. This led me to seeking true stability and peace within my spirit, and not the corny like kumbaya type of peace, but like deep everlasting stability, that can only come through, in my opinion, faith. Particular for me, my faith in Christ. So seeking Christ has made me stronger and wiser. In many ways, living by faith with Christ is more challenging than meets the eye. For me, it's constant battles within my mind to find the truth, constant external battles seeking to pull me away from my faith. And for a long time, I struggled with faith and leaned too heavily on my own understanding of things. So I leaned on my skewed, burnt, and ultimately hurt perception of the world. And it took devoting myself to Christ and upholding my faith to even begin to fix the many wounds and afflictions in my heart, in my spirit, in my mind, and even in my body physically. I used to think that faith was just something for people who couldn't think for themselves. And I thought that leaning on my own ways was intelligent and, trying to figure it all out, creating all these grand plans. And as the Bible would say, stirring up evil within my heart. And I now realize that I was foolish. Stopping to acknowledge Christ and build my foundation of faith was the best decision I've made in my life. I'm still learning in my faith, and every day is another brick laid that strengthens the foundation. My foundation of faith at 22 years old is what I'm currently building. My goal is to be more, and to do this, I'm starting back from the start or where I'm at currently. Part of being more for me is discipline, and I don't use that word loosely at all. To stabilize my life, I need discipline and structure in what I do. Discipline in everything from my habits to my work to my faith practices to my thoughts, my finances, and not just discipline for a day, for a month, for a year, but I'm talking about the type of discipline that lasts for years and ultimately being disciplined for life. The kind that doesn't just fade away. Ultimately, I believe this will lead me to becoming the man of God that I seek to become. I don't want to be shaken by things in the world. I don't want to be moved by things in the world. I want a strong spiritual foundation so that I could create a good foundation. I can be reliable. I can be that rock, that Christ represents for my family and for the world, even my future family. Like, I think of who would I want my children to look up to, who would I want my future wife to look up to. That type of man they would look up to is disciplined and has a strong foundation of faith and a strong foundation of discipline. So that's why I'm building that foundation, and I'm not worrying about all the bullshit that's going on in the world, and you know all the stuff that's going on with everybody else and what's going on out there. Like, I really don't care anymore. I've gotten to a point in my life where I know myself deeper, and I know who I am deeper, and who I am is not in that, and it's not in the mix. And I seek to build my life with God, not in that, not in that mix, quote unquote. So, in that case, I'm also having faith. Basically, this whole time, since I graduated high school, has been like, I feel like trying to prove myself, or prove myself to people, prove myself to myself, prove myself to the world. And I don't think necessarily that's the worst thing, but it can lead you astray if you don't have the proper foundation, which is why I'm building my foundation first and all that I wish to achieve, all that I wish to accomplish, I believe will come from that. What I do, it will change. Even who I may become will change, but the principles with faith and discipline, the principles will adhere. Faith and discipline is what I'm building. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not just talking about for a day, for a month, for a year. I'm talking about building a foundation that's not gonna go away through any circumstances. And I think that is a true mark of a man. Like when you think about confidence, when you think about what it is that I believe men should represent, is that like inability to be moved by things in the world, people. How else are your kids gonna trust you? How else is your wife gonna trust you? How else is the people you lead as a man of leadership? How else are these people gonna trust you if you don't have that foundation in place, that immovable foundation? That's not just some glamorous like TikTok edit of some dude talking about Jesus, or some dude like a David Goggins edit or something like that for discipline. Like I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about building something that doesn't fade away. Building something that can't be broken. Even if your body is broken, your mind, your whatever, even if everything is broken, building that spirit and that foundation that won't cave. And I believe that how you do that first is through Christ. It's like a pyramid. Like you can see, like I drew these drawings. So like it's almost like a pyramid, or a building, or even a tree. And these are the pillars that I believe to becoming like a true man of God, a good man. What a man is, I feel, supposed to represent. So the first part is faith, the biggest layer, the most important, and the foundation that everything is built on. Faith. Then you have discipline. These are things that my grandma, she's a reverend, and she calls the fruits of the spirit. These character traits, these skills. I mean, these are things that you're constantly building throughout your life. That's what I'm working on. And for my career path, I'm looking toward the military, construction, and entrepreneurship. So I built goals and visions for these things. And although I'm not really sure of all that may come, and I'm not exactly sure the exact path I'm going to take and what exactly I'm going to do, these next years of my life are laying a critical foundation of faith and discipline. Discipline, from my understanding, my experience, and my perspective from a biblical standpoint, is about honoring your words and your intentions through your actions. Think about how many thoughts we have on a day-to-day basis that aren't necessarily true, or plans we don't really act on. The lies that we conjure up for people and for our own false perception of self-assurance. It's pointless. Like literally it doesn't make sense. We're disciplined in the things we want to do and ways we want to be, and our actions prove that. What people misunderstand, I think, about discipline is it's not something that you obtain the title of discipline and like that's just it. You're just a disciplined person. I think true discipline is a lifelong journey, and it's much like faith. From reading the Bible and my own life experiences, I think discipline is not the objective measurement of if someone is disciplined or if they're not, but to what extent do they embody the trait of discipline in all areas of their lives. The word discipline comes from the root word discere, which means to learn. So true discipline, I believe, is a lifelong learning process, or a journey of learning, which is exactly what I feel like the Bible and Christianity is teaching us. So learning and improving adherence for the sake of the greater good. Currently, how I'm exercising discipline in my life is through my work, my faith, my body, my fitness, my finances, what I do on a day-to-day basis, and what I'm trying to accomplish. I'm really working on embodying discipline to strengthen my foundation, to deepen my faith, and ultimately strive towards the, like I said before, the man of God I seek to become. Financially, I'm putting into practice managing my money better, better spending habits, habits of saving money, creating habits of paying bills on time, and just building a better foundation for myself financially, physically, keeping my body not just in shape, but healthy while I prepare for the military. So what this means to me is that I was a trainer before, and being in shape is not something that's challenging for me. It's almost like a part of who I am, being an athlete and a trainer and a coach. So it's not something that necessarily takes discipline for me anymore. Because it's just a part of my life. It's not something that I think about too much. Actually, if I'm not in shape, I don't really feel like right. Like I'm not saying that to sound any kind of way, or I'm just actually stating the truth. But just because you're in shape doesn't necessarily mean you're healthy. And I'm currently going to the doctors for health things that I'm trying to get to the bottom of and trying to figure out. So that's just a word to the wise. Physically, I'm keeping my body not just in shape, but I'm working on habits to help me be healthier. So for example, I'm not eating as much as I used to, and I'm not eating as much in one sitting as I used to, because I noticed that just it wrecks my sleep. It gives me a lot of like heartburn, causes me to be more anxious. That's what I'm doing right now to be healthier. Also, my choice of foods, just being a little bit more strategic about what I actually eat and making sure that it's helping my body and not hurting my body. Controlling what I eat and how much of it I eat and when I eat. I think that's the thing I'm exercising right now to be more healthy. And then how I'm training. I'm not just pushing all this weight. I'm not just pushing myself to exhaustion constantly, constantly, constantly. I'm actually training to build a stronger, healthier body. So that doesn't look like how you may picture strength. I'm currently studying for my ASVAB, which is the military entrance exam. And to put it into perspective, I've never like actually legit studied for a test in my life, which is crazy. And it's humbling, but it's really a great reflection of what you can do if you just apply yourself. So I think back to the times when I was in school when I actually should have been studying. And I'm like, bro, if I would have just studied, I would have probably been a straight A student. But it's just funny. The material, some of it is hard, but most of it you just have to apply yourself to learn it. And I think that's very reflective of how life is. We think things are so hard and we think things are so tough when in actuality, apply yourself to that process of learning, that lifelong process of learning, that discipline that I was talking about. And you'll notice that you can make progress faster than you thought. You'll notice that you're smarter than you thought, you're stronger than you thought. So it's really, this type of discipline is really a catalyst and like I said, a foundation for the man of God or woman of God you wish to become. So I'm currently reading 2 pages of the Bible every morning, and I really try to make it a point to do things that are genuinely going to improve my life and help me be more fruitful. So not necessarily things that I want to do all the time, because that doesn't require much discipline to do things that you want to do. And I don't think you get the benefits of doing things that you want, just doing things that you want to do. And I think it's not conducive to how life is actually is. So that's the type of stuff I've been doing. Cleaning up my room consistently, helping clean up around the house throughout the week, giving more to my household, and just being a better man overall. I feel like is that's been the focus. That was just what I wrote in my a message that I wanted to share, what I wrote in my notebook. I'm on a journey to be a better man and create a better reality for myself, create a better world for I mean, not only myself, but my current family, my future family, the people I associate with, and just be better, be better for God, be more.